Hello there. Let's talk about manifesting. Manifesting, you've probably heard a lot of it about. So come on in here, come on in here. I have a story to tell you about how I manifested my soulmate. Now, I was a workaholic when I was a younger woman, and I just went to school and worked and just did everything I was supposed to for preparing for my future. And one day my roommate said to me, "Girl, you have a very boring life. You really do need to go out and have some fun." Well, fun. That was important, but I was young, I was ambitious, and I had to do what I had to do to get myself ahead. But that kept ringing in my ear, you need to go out and have some fun. So she invited me to a party, and I decided that I was going to go and accept her challenge. I got ready, girl. I was cute from head to toe. When I stepped into that party, it was one of the most phenomenal things because it was man, wall to wall man. It was like 5 guys to 1 woman. We called them fraternity parties, and all the fraternities in the Bay Area had been invited to this party, and the sororities. So I stepped in there looking cute, and I just kind of scanned the room, and I said, I'm gonna work this room. I'm gonna see if my special guy is here tonight, so I don't have to keep coming to these things, because I didn't really enjoy parties all that much. So anyway, I started on one end of the room, and I worked my way around talking to this guy and that guy. There were guys there from Vietnam in their uniforms. There were guys there in suits and sports jackets. They all had different styles. And I had so much fun talking to them because it was like getting into their world for a few minutes. And so it was just, I was in heaven once I got out. But the special guy wasn't there. But anyway, I said, well, I'm having fun. He'll be here in a minute, I know. I was expecting him, and I knew that I would know he was there by the way I felt. I'm very intuitive, and I feel things in my heart and my gut, so those are my guides. Anyway, I was talking to this man in his uniform. He was a very attractive man, tall, dark, and handsome, when I felt somebody looking at me. So I turned my head, and he had just walked into the room. Fine. He was tall, dark, and handsome, but his tall, dark, and handsome was several cuts above everybody else's tall, dark, and handsome because he had that it factor. So I said, oh my God, there's my husband to be. Well, I turned around and kept talking to this wonderful soldier. Finally, he asked me to dance. And when he held out his hand and said, care to dance, I put my hand in his, and I had this feeling come over me that I had come home. And I swear to you, I was thinking, this is my husband to be. So we danced, we had a good time, we were chatting about the various topics of the day. We did not agree on them all, but that was okay because, it was just a healthy conversation. We were just chatting, feeling each other out, seeing what the other person thought. Well, this went on, and I was beginning to feel more and more comfortable with him and beginning to think at the back of my head now, I don't even know why I have to go through all these preliminaries getting to know this guy because already this is my husband to be. When he interrupted my reverie by saying this, so how long are you going to be here at this party? I said, well, I'm not sure. Why do you ask? And he said, well, my grandmother is playing cards across town. I need to leave and go get her a ride. My head In my head, I started screaming, "What? A grandmother is interrupting my evening with this beautiful man? What is going on here?" But it was too real to have been made up. So he said, "So how long are you going to be here?" I said, "I don't really know. It depends on how I feel." So he said, "Well, she needs a ride. I have to go. Hopefully you'll be here when I come back. See you. It was very nice meeting you." And he took his leave. And I went on and danced with some friends. So he did come back about 5 in the morning. We went on till dawn in those days. We danced until dawn. It didn't matter how long, because it was Friday night and, Saturday, the weekend, nobody was concerned. Well, we made arrangements for a date, and we have been making arrangements for our date every Friday for I don't know how many years. It worked out like that. Now, through mortgages and babies and ups and downs in life, and he is really my best friend. We are soulmates. Now, should you decide that you want a relationship that is lasting and with someone who shares your values and stands the test of time, then there's some things that you should know. And here are the lessons that you should be aware of from my story. Now, first of all, you need to be so aware of what your values are and what's important to you so that you can know if somebody else shares those values. And when you do that, in the conversations that you have with people, you will be able to ask them questions, discuss topics that will let you know if they're similar in their point of view or no. Well, obviously, if they're similar, they're a keeper. You want to get to know more about them. And if they're just clashing with you left and right, you don't have time. The other thing you need to know is that when you are in the mindset of you want a partner, a loving partner that you can depend and rely upon, and who brings you great joy and happiness, you are the one who is attracting that into your life. It's all about you, honey. So, for those of you who say things like, "Oh, there are no good men left," or "There are no good women left," or "I've been swiping right and I've been swiping left for so long and there's nobody there that I really want to get to know," it's something about your mindset that needs to change. Number one, it's about the mindset. When you expect things to happen, they do. And when you say, "Oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, but not that, but not that, but not that," then the universe, your higher self, God, says, "Oh, well, she's happy where he is. She is, or he's happy where he is, and there's no point in sending anything to her because actually we really don't know what she wants," right? So it's about you being very clear about what it is that you expect to happen. That's manifesting 101. And I wish you the best in using that little tip that I've shared with you today. It's worked well for me, and it surely will work well for you. Because in the big scheme of things, we are all connected and everything is energy. So if one thing works for me, it works for you too. If you want to learn more about manifesting and how I might help you forget about all that swiping left, swiping right, and just introduce you to people who you could fall in love with want to develop a relationship with, just click on that link. I'd love to chat with you. Take care.